Hi, everybody. My name is Camille Roos, and I'm a painter. Welcome to my studio. We are today located at Muse, Center for Integrated Craft in Housatonic, right by the Housatonic River in an old factory building that has been converted into a whole bunch of artist studios on the first, second, and fourth floors. So we are surrounded right now by other artist studios, and you're in mine. So today we're going to explore. I'm going to share with you how I make my paintings, tell you about my practice, and you're going to watch me do it live. So come join me. So there are holes, and I want to create different dimensions of space where it's almost as though you're looking into a tree or some artifact of nature where there may be um, elementals being fairies and elves. So I want to create like the magical habitat for these spirit beings to come forth. And I've created the ground. Um, I'm going to share a little bit about my process. I am a very intuitive painter, and so I go by my spontaneous instincts. So I'm going to gather colors and brushes that feel like that's what the painting wants. I listen to my paintings and they kind of tell me what to do intuitively. And so, yeah, the whole process is mysterious, and you're coming with me. So I'm thinking I want to start with just like bringing some darkness to these um, hole areas. And I just go messy because I actually really like when things are um, kind of primitive in their brush strokes, especially at the beginning. It's like the less that I think about what I'm doing, the more natural it looks, which I personally enjoy in art pieces. And then also the natural shapes that the paint makes end up kind of communicating like next steps. So I'm just going like almost without thought into the spaces that call to me. And there's something that I learned along the way, which is like softening your gaze so that you're not looking at something in particular. You're more like having um, a vague sense of the holistic map of the painting. So I'm just looking really, really softly without precision at what I'm doing. And precision comes later. So I'm just going with this color until it feels like the color is done, and then I'll move on to another one. Right, I'm feeling like that's enough for now with that. So now I'm going with the lighter colors since I just did such a dark brown. I'm choosing this pale orange, and this is a flash paint, a flash acrylic, which is a bit more opaque than the standard acrylic that I was just using. So you can see that it actually has a much smoother finish application. Oops. And you'll see that the movement of the sort of spontaneous strokes ends up really dictating the flow of my painting process. So wherever these intuitive marks first led me, they really start pulling in more colors and elements of shape as I go. So I'll use my cap as a palette. It's just very portable. And as long as I'm staying true to the color and I'm not mixing, it serves its function. But yeah, I'll keep going like this until the whiteness is, until there isn't room anymore. Just noticing like what are the shapes that are already there and what is coming forward. It's really a collaboration between me and the canvas. Of, you know, this listening practice of just seeing sort of what wants to happen and then obeying that. And it's very beautiful how color communicates with each other. Like you know, you're starting to see how the blue and the orange and the dark of the brown, they're in a kind of conversation that I don't know how the conversation's going to go until it happens. So I'm wondering if you can see that. So we're going with the yellow. See, like this color I'm actually noticing like doesn't want to be hugely part of it. So I'm just going to do little bits here and there, and I dilute the color intensity by just using my finger. It's also fun to play with the viscosity, like how thick the paint is laid on or how thin, because that also adds a dimensional interface and dynamic element to the painting. I'm again just kind of following, but because this color is changing how the painting feels on a core level, I'm just going slowly with this. So you'll see that, you know, it starts with like these broad strokes, and then it gets to kind of more nuanced, more delicate conversation. I'm using a round-tipped brush, which is really helpful for this blending process. I really like the subtlety of the round-tip brush because it just allows you to blend almost like a pastel. The good thing about acrylic paints is that they dry pretty quickly, unlike oils. So I can keep, you know, I can be more touchy.
Is this how you normally paint?
Um, yeah, this is how my pieces start. This is how sort of the groundwork gets done, and until I really can understand what's happening, and then the more detailed paintings happens, the more detailed painting and happens later in the process. But this is almost always how I start off my pieces in a very kind of like almost quick abstract fashion, and then I slow down as the painting develops. Now I'm using a flat brush, an angled brush to keep going with some of these more angular aspects of the painting. So before I was doing a round brush for blending purposes, but now I'm returning to a more angled flat brush. So you can see it brings more kind of rectangular or square elements. And so here I'm also just noticing like where are there kind of angles where that I can bring out more, that I can emphasize. And I'm liking how this muted blue works with the orange. I think that that's really a nice quality to me, which is help it's that's giving me ideas for what I want to do next. I often will work like multiple at a time. I think that that helps me with the fluid movements when I can move from piece to piece, and it helps me think less. So there's a little square there that I'm going to leave. I don't know why yet, but we're going to leave that. So thank you so much for coming and joining me as I shared a little bit about my art process with you. I hope you have something that you can take home to your art practice after watching this video. And I'm going to stop here. I think this is enough for the moment, but I'll be sure to check in and let you know how they end up. You can find my work at camilleroos.com, one word, or at Creative Femina, CRTVFMNA on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.